Hi, how you doing? This is Bob Guns with the Concerned Forum. Listen, this special video is more in line of an apology. I was invited I was invited Friday to be at a meeting on the internet yesterday, dealing with African issues. And I do have to apologize because unfortunately something happened that, and don't get me wrong, I think that Uganda is a marvelous country with great potential, but unfortunately they have infrastructure problems. So from about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon until, about, I don't know, 6:30 or so, 7 o'clock this evening, there was no power. And because of that, I was unable to attend the meeting. And I do wish to apologize for that. It happens here in Uganda more than I like. So I just want to clean the decks by saying that. Now, just briefly, allow me to throw my 2 cents in. I would never claim to be an expert on anything. He who claims to be an expert leaves a lot of room to put foot in mouth. So I won't claim to be an expert. But I have been living here for, a while now. And I will tell you, there is a lot going on in Africa that our Congress needs to take a look at. You have to remember right now, Africa is the world's treasure trove. Whether some people want to admit it or not, and I do believe that the future of this planet will be decided in Africa. Remember, you have everything that you need for a industrial or high-tech society, not to mention in terms of food. It's all here on the African continent. The problem is that, for example, in Southern Africa, that appears to be something that keeps Donald Trump awake at night, because he's doing his level best through certain, I won't say all, but certain corporations and, how should we say, rogue elements of American intelligence services. They're doing their best to disrupt South Africa. There's an issue here between West Africa, like Cape Town, and the rest of South Africa proper. Now, as I said, I'm not an expert, but I spent half my naval career doing intelligence work. And I tell you quite frankly, I smell external playing around, okay, put it that way. There's supposed to be a rebel movement starting up in southwestern Africa to break away from the main government in Johannesburg. So I think that that's something that the African nations as a whole need to be very wary of. My personal opinion, I don't think that any African nations here should do anything, any kind of deals, military cooperation, what have you, mineral rights, etc. I don't think that none of that should be dealt with while we still have Trump and his band of miscreants in charge of our government in America. And I would remind everyone that this is the guy, Donald Trump, who said that the African continent was full of a bunch of shithole countries. So that should give you an idea of how he feels towards Africa. And I think that the African nations need to respond accordingly, and that's my opinion. Of course, as you can see, I happen to be a black man of African descent, so I don't think it's unusual for me to feel that way. But feelings or not, that's the situation here. I think that you have some of the African countries are really putting out there, really growing. I'm extremely impressed with Captain Traore up in Burkina Faso and the leaders of Mali and those countries immediately surrounding them. And if I had been able to attend the meeting yesterday, those are some of the insights that I would have contributed to. But I repeat, Congress definitely needs to bone up on what's happening over here in Africa, the African continent. As far as why I'm here, I'm a disabled veteran. And to make a long story short, I came here to clear my head and see what I could do with my whole video show idea. But I'm an American, I'm a registered voter, registered Democrat voter in the Bronx 15th district. And as we move, let's move towards that. I think that Jose Vega is the man that we need to represent the 15th. I believe that, don't get me wrong, I don't know the kid personally. Richie Torres is, he comes across as a nice guy. He may well be. I don't know him personally. But for some reason, his staff claimed that he had a couple of town meetings earlier this year. I don't know. I was never invited. And as I said, I'm a registered Democrat, and I guess somehow I got skipped over. However, because of the videos that I've done, I know that my stance on American involvement in the Gaza situation is not one that is welcomed by the folks in the Torres camp. And yes, I've been to Israel a couple of times. And let's say that I think that Israel has a lot of evolving to do. I'm not a religious person, but I think there's something in the Bible, something about, so as you would not have done to you, so you shall not do to others. And I think that the present government of Israel, they really need to look that chapter up. Right now, the United States stands alone against the rest of the world opinion in supporting Israel and I will say the word, genocide against the Palestinian people, both Muslim and Christian. And yeah, for you religious folks out there, yeah, you got quite a few Palestinian Christians. Remember that's the land of the Bible, both books, Old and New Testament, okay? So I believe that that's something to think about. I know Christian churches have been attacked there in the whole Palestinian area. So I believe that that's something that we have to take an honest look at. I believe that if we have a Congressman, Jose Vega, I think that subject will get an honest look. I also look at the fact that I'm a native New Yorker. I started out in Harlem. I had to move to the Bronx several years ago. I found a veterans program that was helping find, vets to help them find housing. Because you know as well as I do the situation in terms of decent housing in New York City. And I was in the Bronx for quite a few years, 7, 8 years. And I tell you quite frankly, the Bronx is somewhere on the same level as Mississippi. You know, that place where you have all those ignorant ass Congress, right-wing Republicans, they come out of Mississippi. And I think it's a shame that for so long we've had Congress people that, I don't know, they seem, you gotta make some noise. You have to make people aware. One of the problems I have, I'm a member of the NAACP, and one of the problems I have with the NAACP is that they, I don't know, through the 70s, going into the 80s, especially in the 80s, we got into this thing about, well, we do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Right now in America, these are desperate times. People don't need to, you know, they hear about you doing stuff behind the scenes. They need to see you out there fighting for them. And I believe that Jose Vega is the kind of guy that will do that. I also am a supporter of Zohar Mandami, see? And I believe that people like Zohan and people like Jose Vega are the shot in the arm that the Democratic Party in America, and especially in New York, need. And, that person that just drifted by, that was my wife. We just got married other day, so. Anyway, I just wanted to take this personal time to just, number one, like I said, apologize for not being able to attend the meeting yesterday, and try and give, in my little humble way, my insight on what I see starting to happen in the African continent. And number three, I want people to know that I'm fully in support of Jose Vega, and, you know, it's time to get something, time to get right, okay? Time to get something started. You know the situation in New York. I just left in June, this past June. It was horrible then. I know it's worse now. And we need people who are going to stand up and speak out. And I believe that Jose is the guy to do that. So listen, I'm going to make some other videos and eat my wife's good dinner. But I just wanted to let you folks know what was up. So listen. I'm here, Bob Gumps, the Concerned Forum. Bless you all. Take care of each other. And we will be talking with each other. Peace.